horse stables. It is the blue barnwood with the horses coming out, and they're painted in a way that the perspective, you can interact with them. And the whole point of this project was to put murals in little smaller side areas and encourage people to go seek them out and interact with them. And then while that's happening, they'll be exposed to the big wall murals that are already in place, and we'll get more fluidity going through the downtown. The second mural that was contracted was a repaint of the cave bear on the side of the museum. And so the current cave bear mural was done by a local Boy Scout troop, I want to say probably 15 or so years ago. And with the blessing of the museum, we're going to have something that's actually going to look a little bit more like a cave bear coming out. The third mural that's been contracted is a really cool one. She's going to make the wall look like it's broken in, and so like the wall is crumbling in on itself, but behind it is going to be a scene from Great Basin National Park. So bristlecone pine, alpine meadow with Mount Wheeler in the background, wildflowers everywhere, and the spot where that's going to go is the wall between Debbie's Furniture and Class Realty. And I want to thank the Kellogg's for approving that and allowing us to go ahead and put that on their property. All of these right now are on private property, and I did make sure to talk with the city while this was going on to find out what the ordinances were and things like that. So the only mural that's kind of still left up in the air, and there's a couple spots that we're looking at, but we haven't got permission yet. But the third mural is Engine 40, which is our state train coming out of a tunnel. And so the interaction with that one would look like train's coming out of a tunnel, there you are, however you want to make it go. But again, the idea is to do these projects where people feel like they want to interact with it and want to take pictures, and hopefully it promotes them posting on social media and doing some advocacy for us. So Jamie's awesome. I'm really looking forward to introducing her to the community. She's just a great spirit and amazing talent. And so we're looking at possibly doing a meet and greet at the art bank, a mixer for the community to come out and meet her. We're definitely doing the article, and then she has her smaller framed pieces that I'd like to go ahead and do a show here in the White Pine Room and have that kind of be part of the rotating gallery that we have in here. Other than that, I'm trying to think of what other updates that we'd be going through. Caroline, we're together every day working on stuff. What did I forget?
So the one question I have is, I think with where we are, the first event will be the 4th of July. Mm-hmm. And so if we could start switching our marketing into that, so that since it's the all-class reunion has been postponed, that at least it gives a feeling, and there's certainly availability for social distancing. I don't expect the same crowds as before. Yeah. But I guess we're going to know a whole lot more after the governor speaks today at 5:30.
Yeah. So. But
I would.
So I was going to say, Caroline, we had talked about changing the electronic sign and putting some of our upcoming events up there. So I think the 4th of July would be a good one. The horse races, I'd like to put up there. I think for just people's spirit, it'll be nice to see stuff on the calendar. Okay. What else?
So we also have the rodeo in Lund, which is always great to. A whole lot of those folks come through 318, and it'll give them a whole lot to when we can feature the rodeo in Lund.
Yeah. Going back to 4th of July, that's what I was like fuddling around with. We do still want to have the 4th of July breakfast. I think that's something through talking with a lot of people that there's still the appetite to have that. So any ideas that you guys have about how we can make that a success, despite what's going on and the guidelines, let's get our heads together and figure out how we can still make that feel like home,
So, given what we won't have tablecloths, but you already have decorations, and we can use the 3 back rooms, and it will be a buffet, but Marietta, would you be willing to work with Kyle on getting that organized? We'll probably, through our vendors of some way, our food vendors, to provide that, because obviously we're not going to be ordering food from Cisco for this. I wouldn't think, or at least not as much. It's not going to be, it'll be different. Right. But we still want to honor people and give them that opportunity.
Caroline, I have a thought. I believe we can get, like muffins that are pre-wrapped. Can we do that? Because you know, Kyle, you probably have the correct refrigeration, commercial refrigeration.
It would, I'm leaning towards the prepackaged, or having somebody who's got a commercial kitchen make maybe a bunch of bagged breakfasts, you know, where it's continental style. It's a lot of the same stuff that we have, but it would be, you're just going up and you're grabbing your bag of muffin, fruit cup, yogurt. I still want to do the Bloody Marys and the mimosas, even if we just have to pre-mix them and put a cap on it and you just come up and grab it. But, you know, I think the things that, I think we can pull that off pretty easy. I think the big question is you know, how's the parade going to look, and can we do games in the park afterwards? And I even had a grandparent come up to me the other day and was like, we are so sad about 4th of July. We were having so much family come up here that had a blast last year, particularly at the park. I mean, they mentioned the games at the park specifically, and you know, she was just talking about how bummed they were. So people liked it.
So one of the things I would like to make sure that our restaurants have really been struggling with, you know, sure they've been able to have takeout, but it doesn't make up for dine-in, and so maybe getting a menu of some sort that we could bid out, that there's a breakfast sandwich or something that's hot. At any rate, maybe the two of you could work on that we could generate some business and support for our restaurants or food trucks or something.
Cool.
Well, Rex did a great job with that. On 4th of July, they do the wrapped chorizos. So we could, like you said, we could check with some of the restaurants.
Sure. Do I have any discussion or points regarding the executive director's report? Hearing none, let's move on to Roman numeral 3, old business. Number 1, discussion, board member reports. Marietta, do you have anything to report?
We're getting ready to have a horse race meeting this week, and our department heads are organizing everything, and I have personally been meeting with the people in Elko and the Gaming Control Board on a weekly basis. The beginning of June, Brian Gorger, who is our Gaming Control Officer, is going to meet with the commission up in Carson City and go over what we've accomplished, how we've got everything ready for the horse races to get their final approval so we can proceed. And he doesn't see any reason that we would not get it. The only thing that we have to be concerned about is the governor and what he wants.
Sure. Well, we'll find out more this afternoon on that. Anything else, Marietta?
No, thank you.
Thank you very much. Ian, do you have anything to report?
Not a lot of details, but I can tell you the outcome of the money we invested in the gentleman to come and talk about the possibility of a mountain resort here went, to say it went well is an understatement. And big shout out and thank you to Brian Gorger and his wife for being a major part of that, and for making Tim feel welcome. Kyle can attest to it. He left grinning ear to ear, saying he is now an Ely fan. He absolutely loved it.
Great.
And we have a ton of
Well,
homework
thank
to
you
do.
for being a part of that, Ian.
Yeah.
I'd just like to report, I would like to say thank you to Ian and to our representatives from the city and county, and thank them for, they've had not just one meeting a week, but sometimes 2 meetings a week, and we don't even know the subcommittees and such. And so I just want to thank you on behalf of Turnrec for the countless hours you're putting in. So thank you, Ian.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, number 2, discussion only, agenda items for the next board meeting. I have one with the changes since we put together and approved the strategic plan for 2020. The whole world is pretty much turned upside down, and so I would like to take another look at that and see if we need to continue, if we need to further refine it and focus a little bit more, really a laser focus on what's going to bring us lodging nights. And so I'd like to put that on there, just a review and update if necessary. Is there anything else? Harriet, anything?
Nothing that I can think of.
Okay, Ian?
Nothing.
Okay, we will be deciding capital and outdoor rec grants, and so that's an exciting time, and they'll be coming in, and I think is the deadline the 12th, or?
Mm-hmm.
And so Nicole will be getting those out to us, the forms, and they will be judged on the forms rather than people coming in and pitching their project. Just the merit of the application would be the judge on it. So certainly want to continue to invest in our venues and nonprofit organizations for sure of all they do for us.
Madam Chairman, what is our budget for capital this year?
It is 55,000.
Thank you.
And for outdoor
And
outdoor recreation, it's 45,000. And if anybody does ask, that's only $10,000 less than what we were granting in the previous years. So we really try to cut other places and not try to cut out of investing back in our community.
Excellent.
I have one more
Okay.
suggestion for an agenda item for next meeting.
Okay.
If we could change 2.6 to be, instead of update on progress for shared space agreement, if we could just put a discussion in or for possible action, approval of proposed shared space agreement in the optimistic sense that we may have something that we can act on. And if we don't, we don't, there's always the ability to not take action. But if we have that on there and we have something that we can approve, then we'll be able to do that at that time.
If we get this done, if you and Ian and Kyle and the chamber get it done earlier, would it be possible to put it in have a special meeting for it? Would you suggest that so they can get started?
Yeah, absolutely. We only need 3 days notice.
Okay. Yeah, I just think we haven't been horsing around, but it just takes too long when we only have meetings once a month. Okay. Okay, now Roman numeral number 4, public comment. Is there any public comment?
George, you want to come on back up?
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna disappoint you. I got cut off earlier, but you know who. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Madam Chairman, I left off on my last statement. I want to remind you again, Mr. Spear took over $300,000 bonus money from this facility. Are you telling me that he could not afford to pay proper licensing fees? He was a contractor. He was not an employee. He needs to step up and prove that he was properly licensed. You need to prove that he was. For this board to have justified paying out that outrageous amount of money, I'm requesting your answer in writing. If refused, please provide me for the basis of your refusal. If we want to be accountable for taxpayers' money, everything has to be accounted for. Everything. In regards to the Chamber of Commerce agreement, there was nothing in there as to the Chamber sharing the cost of utilities when they meet in this facility. They want you to pay when you're meeting in theirs, but you're not mentioning anything in regards to this facility. I believe the utilities are a lot higher here. Madam Chairman, with all the money that this board has given to the county golf course, again, I'm asking, what has been the increase in play over the last 4 years? This request is 3 or more years old. Now they're asking for additional grants with no apparent increase in use or play. We need proof of increased play, not stagnation. Where their reports were required by the Tour and Rec Board? I'm requesting your answers in writing. If refused, please provide me the basis for your refusal. I've had conversations with you folks in regards to proper signing, distance, and I was told numerous times there's no such animal in this community. If you go up by Senoritas Town and Country on the corner of Great Basin and Avenue H, it's quite clear that there are signs with mileage. And that's what we need to do with the rest of this signage. Do it right, do it one